What is going on, guys? My name is Bill Matthews from the BassinBill 96 YouTube channel, and in today's video we are going to be talking about the Tokyo rig, how to rig it, how to fish it, all that good stuff. So if you guys have seen this lure and you want to know more about it, definitely stick around, stay tuned. We are going to be breaking this down and hopefully catching some big bass, so let's just jump right into it. So the Tokyo rig is this little piece of hardware right here made by VMC for $3.99. You get yourself 2 of them, and the only other thing that we're gonna need is a tungsten weight of our choosing. So we have a little 3/8 ounce tungsten, and we're probably gonna be fishing this a little bit offshore. We might be flipping it up shallow. It's gonna be a good all-around weight for us to do pretty much a little bit of everything. And we're gonna be talking about how to rig this up in just a second, hopefully catching a few fish on it, but also in this video, I'm gonna be showing you guys how to make a homemade Tokyo rig. If you guys do not have your own, I'm gonna break it down how you could kind of fish this exact same rig on the fly if you guys don't have one of these. So stick around, stay tuned. We're gonna rig this up in just a second and hopefully bust up some big old bass. So we have got the Tokyo rig out of the package, and all this really consists of is a 4-aught hook. We have a little barrel swivel up top, and then we have our little kind of drop shot leader made out of metal that it comes with. And all you're gonna do is you slide your weight up top there. We have our 3/8 ounce tungsten. You're gonna take yourself some pliers and you're gonna bend this just so that tungsten weight can't come off. So once you get it crimped down like that, your tungsten weight is stuck on there and you have yourself a Tokyo rig. So we're gonna put a bait on there, tie it up, and we're gonna start fishing with this thing. So the final step right before we start fishing, guys, is just picking out a bait to throw on there. And the VMC Tokyo rig is super versatile. You can throw pretty much anything on there, but today we're gonna be throwing the 𝗙𝗹𝗶𝗶, but you could literally throw worms, you could throw creature baits, anything that you could possibly think of, you could pretty much put on this Tokyo rig. But today, like I said, 𝗙𝗹𝗶𝗶, I think it's gonna get the job done for us. And all you really do is you Texas rig it like a normal bait right on that Tokyo rig, and you are good to go. Break those claws apart. You have yourself the perfect little Tokyo rig. So we're gonna start throwing this around some offshore stuff first. Like I said, we might move shallow, we might flip this up into some heavy cover. Very versatile rig. You could do a lot with this thing, but we're gonna start by fishing this offshore grass pile on this point, and it's known to have some big ones, so let's go try to hook into one. So yesterday I legitimately could not buy a bite. The lake that we were fishing has some really big bass in it, but the quantity just is not there. So we switched up lakes today. We're just throwing that little Tokyo rig with that 𝗙𝗹𝗶𝗶. What we're gonna try to do is catch a fish offshore here, maybe 1 or 2 out deep, and then I'm gonna show you guys how to flip this thing up into some cover, up in some shallow water. So stick around, stay tuned. We are gonna catch some fish on the Tokyo rig today, that I do promise you. So let's just get right to it. Here we go. There we go. First one on that Tokyo rig, offshore right here. First bite of the day. Come on, baby. Little 𝗙𝗹𝗶𝗶 right to the face. Not a very big bass, probably like a 10 or 11 incher. Gonna toss this one back and probably move up shallow to show you guys exactly what this thing's really made for. So you could throw this thing offshore. I just kind of wanted to show you guys the versatility by catching one in what we were in, like 26 foot of water. But I'm gonna show you guys how to flip and pitch this up into shallow cover, because that's where this thing really is gonna shine. So we got the skunk out of the boat. We caught that fish in like 25 foot of water, but now we're gonna start flipping this thing up in some shallow water and trying to really show you guys where this bait excels. And it's really made for shallow water fishing. This thing's completely weedless. You could throw this thing up underneath docks. You could throw it up in the super thick pads. And what's really cool and what makes this bait kind of unique is the fact that it's got this little weight down there, and that's what's going to be in the bottom. So your bait suspends right above. It's in the strike zone at all times, and it's really just a different look for them than a traditional punching rig. So I'm gonna start flipping this thing around shallow and hopefully catch a few fish for you guys. And then I'm gonna show you guys how to make your own Tokyo rig if you do not have any of the VMC versions. So stick around, stay tuned. It's gonna be really cool, and hopefully we stick into a big one over here. Oh, here we go. Yep, there he is. I saw the pad start shaking on that one. Flipped that little Tokyo rig up in there, and first shallow bite for us on that little 𝗙𝗹𝗶𝗶 once again. But like I said, the cool thing about this bait is you flip it up in those pads, and that bait is always in the strike zone, just floating right above the bottom. So saw the pads right behind move, and I knew we were about to get bit. So we're gonna try to catch one more on this, and I'm gonna show you guys how to rig that homemade power shot rig that is gonna be basically a nice substitute for this if you do not have a Tokyo rig on deck. So let's try to catch one more real quick though. This is a really juicy area, as you guys can see. A lot of really good looking pads right here. Should be able to get a few more bites. So as you guys can probably tell, we're at the back of this canal. We threw the Tokyo rig the entire way back here and did not get another bite. So we're gonna move on to the homemade Tokyo rig. It's just kind of a slow day. We're going through a big cold front here in Michigan, so it's making the bite a little bit tough, but I wanna make sure that I show you guys this homemade Tokyo rig because it's a really cool bait to throw if you guys are on the spot and you don't have that VMC one with you. But Usually when I'm power shotting or throwing this homemade Tokyo rig, if you want to call it that, I'm throwing this on 65-pound braid. So we're going to cut off this normal punch rig, and this is what's going to replace this. So a normal punch rig with like a 1 ounce weight, this is going to be an awesome alternative. If you guys are not getting a lot of bites, if you're fishing a really pressured lake, this is going to be something that you're going to want to try. But all you're going to do is use a standard flipping hook, and instead of tying that snell knot like you would if you're going to flip like a 1 ounce weight, all you're going to do is tie a regular Palomar knot. Just like a normal drop shot, you're going to take that tag end and you're going to put it right back through the top of that hook. Basically, all you're throwing is a giant drop shot rig. We have our power shotting weight right here, 3/4 of an ounce, and we're just going to tie this on. And it is as simple as that. I'm going to show you guys the finished product here in just a second. Cut the tag end off right here, and you have got yourself a nice power shot rig right there. And this is going to be able to replace that VMC Tokyo rig if you do not have one on the spot. But this is an awesome bait. Like I said, it keeps that bait suspended above the bottom. So if you're fishing a lake that a lot of people flip, definitely give this a go. And we're about to do that right now. Hopefully get a couple more bites for you guys. So we are making our way out of this channel. I think that the main lake bite is going to be a little bit better too. This looks really, really juicy, but this is more of a summertime bite. And since we're transitioning into the fall time, a lot of these fish are going to be kind of on that main lake, getting their feed on. And I'm going to pull out another little 𝗙𝗶𝗹𝗶 here, rig it up, and hopefully those main lake pads, we got bit right away on the tip of these pads right here. We're going to fish around and hopefully get a few more bites, but all we're going to do to rig this up, just like a normal flipping rig, is slide this up the shank of the hook. I'm just going to flip this around like so, and we're just going to pop this hook right through. We're going to be good to go with that power shot rig. So basically just throwing a giant drop shot rig on braid, and you can flip this thing pretty much anywhere. There he is on that power shot. Right when we got back out to the main lake, oh, buddy. And that was a pretty good one right there. The first two bass that we caught were tiny. That one, it was kind of a really, really subtle bite. Like I said, I think that they're kind of just in a mood since we had this cold front moving through, but I barely felt that bite. And as you guys saw, I barely even penetrated that fish right there, but that was a solid like 1.5, 2 pounder, not a bad one. Right when we got back out to these main lake pads though, so hopefully there's going to be some more, because as you guys see, we have a nice little stretch right here to fish. Dang, that was a nice fish. I should have set the hook a little bit harder and a little bit sooner too. Oh, that stinks. Hate losing fish on a tough day, man, especially when it's a halfway decent one. There he is. That was like two flips later. Unfortunately, we lost the nice one, but we're not going to complain. That little power shot rig is getting it done. We've only taken like 6 or 7 flips with that, and we've got 2 bites already. So I don't know if it's because it's a little bit longer. Maybe it's keeping it up in that strike zone a little bit better even than that Tokyo rig, but we've got 2 very quick bites. I think that these main lake pads are going to be the deal. Oh, that is a fish. Dude, it is the most sluggish bite of all time. They literally just sit there with it in their mouth. I'm telling you guys, the last 2 days, it's been really, really cold. Like the morning temps in the 40s and the 50s, and it's got these fish in some sort of mood. I really, really question that one, but nice little 12-incher right there. Yep, there he is. There he is. Another really light bite. That's a good one right there, boys. On that power shot rig. Yes, sir. Come in this boat. Let's go. Yes, sir. She just barely ticked it. That's what I'm talking about. Nice solid like 2.5 pounder right there. Maybe more. She's really fat, dude. Yep. That's what I'm talking about. A little 𝗙𝗶𝗹𝗶𝗹 right in the roof of the mouth. So look at that fish right there. We missed another nice one earlier on, a little bit smaller than this one, but nice like 2.5, maybe a little bit more pounder, just because look how girthy that fish is. She's thick. Smoked that little power shot rig with that 𝗙𝗶𝗹𝗶𝗹, and we're probably gonna end the video on that one right there. I might fish a little bit more, so you guys might see 1 or 2 more catches, but nice solid fish. And if you guys flip these Tokyo rigs and these power shots up in the shallow water, you're gonna get bit. It's a fact. So that is the fish that we're gonna end the day on. We finally got a solid one to eat that power shot rig on a very, very tough day of fishing. But as you guys saw, we moved out to these main lake pads. There were definitely a little bit more bass in the main lake pads, but also that slightly longer leader from that power shot over that Tokyo rig, I think made a huge difference. Since they were being so lethargic and they didn't really want to eat, just having that slightly longer leader sitting right in front of their face and giving those tiny little shakes, that's what got those few fish to bite. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this video helped you out. If you guys have never tried a Tokyo rig, you never tried power shotting, definitely give it a go. You can catch some really big bass, and like I said, it's just a nice alternative to flipping, pitching, punching, you know, a lot of the traditional stuff that you're going to see a lot. So gives the bass a little bit of a different look, and hopefully that helps you guys out. But thanks for watching. I will catch you guys in the next one.